So right now, everyone who's teaching at any grade is sort of overwhelmed with suggestions of what to do. We're in a bit of a tornado of suggestions, of lists, of tools, and this and that and the other. It would be kind of nice just to have one thing that you could do, one sort of catch-all for ways that you could sort of improve your teaching online or actually move it online if you've never done it. Well, into that steps Google Classroom. Now, there's a good chance you've heard of Google Classroom. For many people, Google Classroom's like that pair of sneakers that you bought that was going to get you fit. So those sneakers were going to help you run every morning before school, and they were going to change your life. And Google Classroom, so its advocates said, was going to improve your teaching. It was going to allow you to teach in new ways. And while it kind of made sense for them, for you, maybe it didn't really fit that well. Maybe it sat box fresh on a tablet that you haven't used in about a year, like those sneakers did. They haven't been used yet. And you knew that if you got those sneakers out of the box or actually had to go on Google Classroom, people would see you doing it and think, yeah, all the gear and no idea, or something like that. And it was a parallel universe. It was like another version of you, the version that taught online. And while you recognised that that might have been in itself a good thing, that was a parallel universe, and you were in your classroom with your kids, and you were looking after them face to face, and it was fairly safe and fairly comfortable, and that was just a parallel world. Then this week, that parallel universe broke free from all that theory and kind of elbowed its way into every school system around the world without so much as a sanitised handshake. And at the swipe of a legislative iPad somewhere in a municipal building somewhere, schools are shut. And learning from home is the new normal. Now, somewhere on your laptop, Google Classroom still sits, and you don't know if it will be the right fit for you. You bought it so long ago, you had it so long ago, you think, it might not fit me now. So what can you do? You might be the educator who thinks, well, I could do this, but... And that could end in all sorts of ways, depending on your setting. Now, you've been packed off home with a laptop, some vague direction to do something for your students, but you're not sure where to start. So here's something to get you started. This is the introduction to a series offering a guide to moving from the classroom to the homeroom. And we're going to put you in the picture, give you some options to explore and help guide your thoughts and plans, because these aren't normal times. And the planning and the thinking that you did in 2019 isn't probably well enough prepared for teaching and learning in 2020 where we are now. Now we'll start from some basics and we'll build it from there. Now the basics might be all you need. You might get to a point where it just incrementally improves what you're doing, and that's plenty. But we'll also give you the opportunity to be more creative, to start improving and being creative with your teaching materials and strategies, and also with your students. Now this is intended to give you a solid foundation on the journey, and if you stick with the basics and do them well, then that's great. So let's get started. Oh, but wait. Now before you start doing, before you rush to get a device or reluctantly open your laptop, start with some thinking. A little time spent away from your computer or device, so when you finish this video you can turn it off. Now a little time spent away from that, considering some of the questions that I'm going to put to you now, might help you use your time better. So the first thing I'd say, in any context, no matter what you're doing, whether it's kindergarten or high school or anywhere in between, is what do you want the outcomes to be? At the end of the process you're going to do, however sophisticated or simple that is, what do you want the outcomes to be? And that's not just for your students. What do you want the outcomes to be for you? Do you want to feel more confident? Do you want to feel like you've done something for your institution? What does your institution, your school, your setting, what do they want to have outcomes for? And does what you're planning support what would already happen in your classroom if you were face-to-face? Does it extend your classroom activity with something better or different, or does it challenge? Does it challenge both your students in what you're expecting of them and how you expect them to work? And also, does it challenge your own experience and skills? But here's the really important question right at this time where we all are now in some form. What time do you really have for this? With school out, it might seem that everyone has an excess of time and plenty of time to get on with this, and you will have seen people saying, here's how to completely transform your teaching with a comprehensive program of online learning. But actually, some of those thoughts don't really take into account the real world. They take into account a world where children go home and it's business as usual. They just happen not to be in school. But the world right now is very different. Looking after your own family and your own health, both your physical and mental health. It might be getting groceries. I mean, ensuring you've got time just to get away from everything else that feels maybe a little bit overwhelming is really important. And also, your students are going to be in that environment as well. They're in an environment where there's not much certainty. Things change on a daily basis. And so it might be you use this online teaching, this bringing the schoolroom into the homeroom. You might use that in a way that actually just gives them something that's constant. That as everything is changing around them and the news and any social media they might be looking seems to be a constantly shifting ocean of rumour and fact and all sorts of things in between. You might be able to give them something that helps them connect with something that's bigger than their circumstance. You might give them something that helps them to learn more about themselves, more about the world, maybe some more about what to look at and what not to look at online. But you need to do something that doesn't completely depend on your own personal circumstances, which of course could change at short notice.